There's nothing more exhilarating than pointing out the shortcomings of others, is there?
This video was made possible due to those who support me on Patreon. I'd like to give a big shout out to patrons Conrad Truitt, Dan Ray, Eric Navarro, Flake, Frame by Frame, Joseph Abrams, Kyle Kramer, Majin Weebay, Mariah, Sophia Narwitz, and Stephen Dillon. Thank you all for your support. Seeing as fiber is only for little beta pussy bitches, my Sigma Chad ass spends a great deal of time forcing my calcified stools out of my battle-worn rectum, which gives me plenty of time to waste scrolling through YouTube Shorts, which is TikTok for people who piss and moan about TikTok. Recently, I've been seeing these reject modernity, embrace masculinity videos popping up, a trend, along with its multiple variations, that has seemed to catch on over the past few months, and felt compelled to make a short video to discuss. As you all know, this channel is a clusterfuck when it comes to consistent thematic content, ranging from poorly articulated storytelling analysis to Pulitzer Prize-worthy exposés uncovering truths some would rather not want to see the light of day. But on occasion, I dabble in men's issues, as, despite a certain 2019 Gillette commercial putting my entire sense of identity into disarray, I more often than not consider myself a man. Particularly one who not only understands the struggle young men face when trying to attain a sense of being masculine in a world that is constantly bombarding them with conflicting messages as to how to do so, but also how many spaces that claim to be for helping men ultimately devolve into shit shows of toxicity, which only exacerbates the frustration these men are seeking to expel. So when I initially came across this trend of vids, I was torn, I guess? Some of them can be a tad cringe at times, demonstrating like a preteen boy's concept of masculinity, but all in all, I think the gist of them are fine, as most of them preach hard work and perseverance, particularly in regard to athletics. Some even show clips of dudes overcoming hardships to accomplish truly amazing things. Despite them obviously being memeish, evidenced by the frequent inclusion of the legend himself, it seems like many dudes do find inspiration and a sense of camaraderie within them. So I figured, what's the harm? Oh yeah, I forgot about the entire other half of these vids. The reject modernity sections, which mostly consist of just making fun of fat people and not so thinly veiled homophobia and transphobia. The most popular vid under this trend has over 2 million views and starts off by just showing dudes in dresses before switching to pics of dudes in centuries-old battle attire, which I guess is supposed to say something? Honestly, I'd really like to give this one the benefit of the doubt that it's meant to be ironic. Like, I doubt it, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Seeing as this entire trend is actually an offshoot of those reject modernity, embrace tradition memes, which like the whole joke is that they are supposed to be ironic. But I think that part got lost on some. Evident in the next most popular video, which is a lot less subtle, and that starts off by showing a few dudes who are just existing, but I guess not up to the standards of being quote-unquote masculine enough for whatever reason, before switching to footage of what looks like an LGBT gathering. Wait, what? Then there is this one with 850,000 views, which once again just starts off with dudes dressed in non-traditionally masculine clothing, which, are we really just shitting on dudes who wear skirts and dresses? No, I'm sure that's not it. Let's check the responses.
Sometimes it's okay to bully someone to stop them from doing dumb shit.
Which I guess in this case is just them living their lives, but okay. Imagine if the people at the beginning could meet their grandparents' grandparents. It would be dramatic. Holy fuck! You're upset I'm wearing a dress, right? No fuckstick, you clearly discovered time travel. Nothing against femboys and LGBT people, it's just that as a straight man in the 21st century, we stand for our culture as well. Look, the only aspect of straight male culture I embrace is weekly congregation to the bathroom glory hole at my local 7-Eleven. You dig, Kimasabi? It actually looks like a lot of other people were calling out the uploader for this shit, which I assume is what prompted the uploader's response. For the people being offended or disliking the video, there is nothing wrong with being manly. It's a natural part of us. So as doing bodybuilding and martial arts is encouraging manliness. But if we reach to the point of civilization with femboys and gender mania, and I am not allowed to criticize that, well, then cry harder. Maybe I'm just getting old, but this entire outlook is completely lost on me. Since if you asked me the least masculine thing a dude could ever do, getting triggered over what another dude wears would definitely be in the top 3. While some of these videos start by mocking people who do in fact say dumb shit, like working out is fatphobic, or men shouldn't work out because it perpetuates toxic masculinity, even though if you took 2 seconds and Googled the headline, the person who wrote it also penned an article about how Animal Crossing is a form of Nazi propaganda, leading me to strongly believe they are a parody account, so these dudes are just getting triggered over someone else mocking the conceptual people they are getting triggered at, so yeah, basically. But yeah, all in all, instead of actually criticizing men for like actually demonstrating non-masculine traits like a lack of integrity or courage or supporting your fellow man, most of them are just haha fat, haha gay, haha pronouns. I'm sure some of you are wondering why I'm even putting the effort into making a video on this stupid shit, and the answer is twofold. One, it really reminds me of the whole SJW cringe compilation movement that blew up some years ago, where some normie logs on to laugh at a bunch of college libs acting obnoxious, but then slowly the vids start to sprinkle in weird ass shit. Like Ben Shapiro demonstrating a lack of understanding of systemic inequality, Milo Yiannopoulos desperately seeking attention, a practice he continues even to this day, an overweight person just existing, a trans person just existing. And then all of a sudden the comment sections go from people just having a giggle at those who genuinely lack self-awareness and say dumb shit to just mocking people living their lives and diatribes about how feminism and the welfare state are destroying the fabric of our nation, and that same normie is like, I'm sorry, what is happening right now? And two, because as someone who understands how starved a lot of men are for any sort of community or validation, it drives me absolutely fucking nuts when I see those who claim to preach positivity and to want to lift men up simply lean into negativity or needlessly mocking other men who are doing them no wrong. If it really is about positivity, why not just show dudes doing kick-ass and amazing shit? Why is it paired with mocking other dudes just doing their own thing? Again, if it's someone saying some stupid shit or body shaming other men, have at it, fuck those people. But if it's simply this kid getting excited about how well he rocks a skirt, like, what are we really doing here? To be clear, I'm not saying all guys who get a kick out of these videos are bigots. I'm sure even most of those who make these vids aren't even consciously thinking about this shit. They're just following the trend because LOL memes. But the issue is that this inevitably leads to dudes who do have nefarious intentions using it to test the waters, if you will, to gauge what portion of their audience is on the same page as them. They don't have the balls to just come out and say they feel threatened when another man is able to confidently rock a dress, so they have to coat their insecurity in ironic humor until they can find those who agree with them, thus validating said insecurity, and that is when the mask slips. Such is the case in this one, with 24,000 views, where the reject modernity part is literally just dudes kissing. Sure enough, the majority of the comments are other dudes being like, dude, what the fuck? But see, this video isn't meant to appease them. It's meant for anal swabs like this and those who liked it. Because this is how it works. It starts off as a genuine space to give dudes inspiration, eventually gets overrun by bitter dickheads who slowly seep their toxicity into the space, eventually to the point where all the well-adjusted dudes get turned off by the negativity and hightail it, and thus, when younger, more impressionable dudes come looking for guidance or inspiration or camaraderie, the only ones left are the anal swabs. And that, in a nutshell, is how male-centric spaces get co-opted and turned to shit, only hurting those they claim to want to inspire and help. And that shit pisses me right the fuck off. Thus, I felt compelled to make this short video to address it. Hopefully this trend will fade into obscurity, but making this preemptively in case it devolves into a seething monster and some poor kid will see this before they start getting sucked into the horseshit. I'm all for motivating dudes to work out or strive for something great. It doesn't mean you have to be a champion or #1 in the world. Making small incremental improvements is what it's all about. But there's no reason that this has to be paired with crapping on other dudes for doing shit they may not like or doesn't match up with their own view of masculinity. Again, if people are saying some dumbass shit, go for it. Attack their ideas. But if your idea of motivation is mocking others for just doing their own thing, that sounds like the antithesis of masculinity, in my opinion. All that aside, you actually think Z's sculpted his body into its gorgeous final form while simultaneously taking time out of his day to level criticism at other men who are doing nothing to affect him in the slightest? Fuck no, brah. So cut the shit out and focus on the grind. And if you see dudes shitting on other dudes for doing their own thing, don't just ha 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 LOL memes, be a king and tell them to man the fuck up.